Being here?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. And also one more thing: when NASCAR, when we wanted to go to Mexico and Canada, would you be for a stadium race, a street race, or a road course?
I would prefer not do the stadium racing unless the stadium's bigger than the one we've been doing it in. And outside of that, I'm good with whatever.
Okay. Thanks.
As Atlanta continues to age, where do you see it evolving to down the road?
That's a good question. I mean, it surprised me just the amount of color it's lost, over the last, year and a half or so. But it's cold out, right? So the grip level's kind of high, and curious to see if the race feels any different. But it still seems like it has a lot of grip. So I think it'll probably be a little while. Seems like the asphalt gets better over like pavement jobs that were done in the mid 2000s didn't last as long as the ones that they do now. So I'm not sure if the process has gotten better and more efficient for highways and roads, and that kind of transitions into this stuff. But it seems like this stuff, like Texas, Michigan, like those places, just they look like they're aging, but they kind of aren't at the same time. So we'll kind of have to wait and see what this one does.
What's the trickiest part of the racetrack here? Because there are characteristics built in even when it was completely smooth at the beginning of the page. So what's the part that makes you have to pay the most attention or whoa up the most?
Well, I think for now it's just the draft and when the accordion happens, and that can kind of happen anywhere. But I feel like entering 3 is a little more subtle. The banking picks up a little slower than it does into 1. And anytime you have a slower banking transition from flat to to whatever the corner banking is, that typically is just a little more vulnerable location than turns that you land in the banking harder like you do into 1.
Chase, talk about your qualifying lap today. Your qualifying lap today.
What about it?
I guess it's 22nd where you ended up come out of the throttle, or
Nope.
just
Wide open.
just as fast as you go today.
That's right.
Do you think any of the changes Ford made to their nose in the off-season made a big difference in them all having success today and at Daytona last week?
I do think, the anytime a nose meets flush with a rear bumper is typically going to be good for speedway racing. So I don't think that has anything to do with their pace and qualifying.
Gotcha. Do you have you put together a schedule yet this year for your short track and dirt track races? I know years past you did Sinaloa and you did New Smyrna a couple weeks ago.
I don't have a set schedule at the moment. We're just kind of playing it by ear and just seeing where my schedule's at, I guess, as we get closer to the summer and so on. So no, nothing. It's nothing super structured.
Any particular events you'd like to run this year?
I think on the asphalt side, it'd probably be similar to what I did last year, which had emphasis on midweek races, just because they're a little easier for me to get to than the weekend stuff. But we're going to kind of wait and see as the year progresses and see how things are going.
Any desire to go back to SRX for a one-off race or 2?
I'm good, 2 for 2. I'm very content with hanging it up.
Curious to hear your thoughts on the back-to-back kind of schedule of Daytona and then this track.
Yeah, I mean, I don't make the schedule, so I'm kind of good with wherever they tell us to go, and I live, fairly close to here, so 2 races in Atlanta is great by me, and whenever that falls in the season is also good with me too.
Has there any thought, Chase, any discussion within the 9 team of these back-to-back weeks and just the car cycle and mentally and physically 2 drafting tracks back-to-back? Have you guys just put any thought into how important these 2 weeks are to not start behind too much in a hole?
I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously, I don't want to get behind any more than anybody else does, but we can't fix the schedule, so I'm not going to worry about it. It is what it is, and we're going to do our best to prepare. And that's all you can do, right? Like, try to control the things that are in your hands, and outside of that, just move on. So hopefully we can have 2. I thought we had a solid week at Daytona. We didn't have a great finish, but I thought we put together a solid race. I thought we executed a good race. We minimized a lot of mistakes, and the end of the race didn't go our way, but it could have been worse for sure. Could have got caught up in the crash there or whatever, and had a much worse finish than we did. So, this will be probably very similar to Daytona and big wrecks and trying to survive. So hopefully we can do that here, get some points, and be nice to get a win if possible, and get ready for Vegas, because that's where things are really going to start. Really going to get an idea of where you're at and what you need to do and how far behind you are, if any.
Attention drivers, are you ready to take your brand to the next level and leave your competition in the dust?
Imagine your own custom digital trading cards showcasing your journey, your victories, and your unique style.
Fans don't just want to see you on the track, they want to own a piece of your legacy. And with Raceface Digital, they can.
It's more than just the checkered flag. It's about creating a digital connection with your fans,
where off-track advantages become on-track victories. Enroll now at racefacedigital.com.
What up? It's Brad Perez. Click subscribe and watch one of the 2 videos right beside me. Visit frontstretch.com for more racing content.